Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how I highlight and contour. We're going to do a little bit of cream and powder to set it. I already applied my primer and foundation. For my primer I use the Becca Mattifying Primer, I think it's called, and then for foundation I use Too Faced Born This Way. So we're going to use some affordable products and some high-end products. To start, we're actually going to use concealers instead of a cream contour kit to start the contour. And I like to highlight and contour with concealers because it's cheaper, first of all, and it's really easy. For the contour, all you have to do is just get a shade that's darker than your skin tone. Obviously this is darker for me. And then to highlight, a shade that's lighter than your skin tone. So I always apply my foundation first, and then so we'll start with the contouring. And to that, it's the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer in the shade Beautiful Bronze. With this, it's like a paintbrush kind of tip, and you squeeze it to get the product. Alright, and so this is what we're gonna define. It's for contouring, it's not the same exact spots on everyone. So to find the first place where you're gonna go, which is the hollows of your cheeks, you're gonna suck in your cheeks. And then go right in that spot where you're sucking in. And just put a nice line right there. Alright, and the next spot we're going to do is the bridge of the nose. So we're going to do pretty much just straight down. And then right across as well. And then also we're going to do the forehead. And then you can do the chin as well. The great thing about contouring is it helps with an illusion. It almost gives you the look at that perfect face that you want. Like if you don't like your chin, you can just contour your chin. If you don't like your nose, you can contour your nose, etc. So now we're going to go in with a highlighting shade, and this is the HD Pro Conceal, same brand, same thing, in the shade Classic Ivory. And this one we're going to go, let's see, I'm going to go under the eyes, across as well. And then we're going to go down the nose, down there, down the middle of the chin, forehead, and then right under where we contoured on the cheeks. Now to blend it, it's up to you what you use. You can use a blending brush, a foundation brush. I like to use a beauty blender personally, so we're just going to blend it in. I like to tap it because then it's nice and it's not, I mean it's blended, but then it just sits nicely on the skin and gets really nicely in there. For under the eyes, I like to use the pointed side of my beauty blender because it does give a more precise application. And then for the other parts, I do like to use the round end. With the darker areas, sometimes I do just kind of like push it a little bit, but blending is key here, because if it's not blended enough, or if it's blended way too much, so to say, it's not going to look good. And we are just going to add a highlight to one more spot we're going to do right under the brow bone. I haven't done my brows yet, so I will still need to do them. Okay, and now we are going to go in with our face powder. I'm going to use today the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation in Fairlight Neutral. To apply it, we're going to use the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Face Brush. And now we are going to go in with our powder contour and highlight. So first we're going to go in with the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro Palette. You can use any contour palette you want. I'm probably going to try to get the Anastasia Beverly Hills one eventually. I want to try the cream contour one as well, but for now I just use this one. Okay. And I'm going to go in first with my Vasanti flat foundation brush, and we're going to highlight with the top row. We're going to use the 3 shades on the right first. And we're going to go under the eye and just kind of pat it. And we're going to take the the tip of it and go down the nose and pat it the other spots we highlighted. Okay, and now we're going to use that same face brush to get any loose powder away, just very light. Alright, and now we're going to go in with that same brush and use the white shade to highlight under the eyes. We're also going to use this to highlight under the contour. And now we are actually going to bake under the eyes and under the contour. I don't do it very often just because sometimes it is a little time consuming, but to do it we're going to use the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Finishing Powder. Any finishing powder or translucent powder will work. Just going to pat it into the cap. I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just dab it in and just get right on there. Don't blend it in because that's the point. Just going to get a little bit more. I'm also going to do other areas where we did highlight. So down the nose, right there, and then on the chin. I'm not going to bake under the brows though. Alright, so now we're just going to let this sit for a minute. So just, some people like to go in and do their eyes. I think I'm going to go in and just do my brows real quick. So then we'll come back and finish the baking and the contour. Okay, so now that I'm done my brows, I'm just going to go in with a nice fluffy brush to just brush away any excess. And I'm going to go in with the Morphe S19. Okay, so now we're going to continue with our contour. So we're going to go back in with the NYX contour palette, and I'm going to use that shade as always. And so I have 3 different types of contour brushes that I use. I have this Tarte one, which is the nice big fluffy brush, this is good for a nice light contour, nothing too big. You can also use this for bronzer. Then I have the Morphe MB30 brush. This is good for a very nice defined contour. We're just going to use this one today. And then I have the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour Brush. This is good. It's kind of an in-between of these two. It's not super defined, but it's also not super light. So it depends on how you want to contour that day for what brush you use. So like I said, I'm going to go in with the Morphe MB30. And we're going to go right in that spot where we did the cream contour, so you can suck in your cheek. I'm actually going to mix a little bit of a darker shade too. I'm going to use the one on the end to mix it. And I just want to clarify, like, not everyone contours like this. This is just how I personally contour. So, I mean, if you want to watch other people's contour videos, just to kind of get so you can get a mixture of how different people do it. That way you can get your own kind of way. I don't do the cream and the powder every day. Most days I just do the powder, or even just do a little bit of bronzer. So we're going to go in down the nose. Alright, so now we're going to blend it in. I'm going to go in with the Morphe E7 brush. I like this brush because it's small and dense. It's nice and precise. The angle doesn't really matter. I mean, you could use this brush for contouring even, but blend it really good, just kind of back and forth while slowly doing circles. You want to make sure you blend it in really good because you don't want to just have like brown marks on your face. I'm just going to go in with my Morphe E31 brush, just makes it a little bit quicker. I like to do the more precise blending at first, but sometimes it's nice to get a bigger brush so you can make sure it's good. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my blush. So I'm going to use the Tarte Amazon Ink Clay 12-Hour Blush in Peaceful. I love the Tarte blushes because they really do last for a long time. I'm not sure if they really last 12 hours, but they last for a while. I'm going to use my Crown IB 126 brush. And we're going to apply the blush right above the contour. I mean, you can apply your blush however you like. Some people like to do the apples of the cheeks. I personally don't. But don't go it too high. Don't go all the way to the top of your cheekbones because that's where we're going to put our highlight. Alright, now I'm going to go back in with the Morphe E31 to blend it a little bit so it's not super bright. Alright, now my favorite part, we're going to highlight. So I have two different brushes that I use for highlight. I use the Morphe M40 143 brush. It's a fan brush. I use that when I want a little bit of a lighter highlight or just as a first application, just like go like that. And then I also use the Real Techniques setting brush, and this you can just kind of go like that, which I like this one better. We're going to use this one today. So I have a couple of highlighters I'm going to show you. So I have all different colors. I have golden ones, I have peachy ones, I have white ones, I have a rose gold one. So really what shade you want to use really depends on the look you're going for and your skin tone. So the lighter your skin tone, the lighter highlight you should use. So if you're very fair, you should use white or lighter highlights. Like I have this one from Ofra. It is in collaboration with Dupe That, and it's called You Glow Girl. This one is almost like a champagne-y rose gold, rose white gold maybe. So this one's very light. Let's see. If you're more tan, then you want to use, or darker skin, you want to use a darker one, like Rose Gold from Becca. I also have this. So you can use one like Rose Gold from Becca, or Peach Nectar from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Whatever you use, it's up to you, honestly. And then my personal favorites are... So my personal favorites for powder highlight I have three that I love. So So Hollywood from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a nice gold highlight. And then Champagne Pop from Becca in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. This is a very nice peachy gold. And then the cult favorite, the Mary Luminizer from The Balm. And this is a slightly like champagne white gold kind of color. But today we are going to use Champagne Pop. And I always like to start off with a cream highlight because this way it makes it last longer and it makes it pop more. So to apply the cream, I'm going to use Opal from Becca. It's the Shimmering Skin Perfector Poured. And I'm just going to use my finger and apply it to the tops of my cheekbones. I'm also going to apply it down the nose and on the Cupid's bow. Okay, now we're going to go on with Champagne Pop. It's pretty much the same thing as Opal other than color. I mean, the formula, this is the Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed. So this one is the powder version, the poured is the cream version. So we're going to go in with my Real Techniques setting brush and just get a little bit. This one is very powdery, so you have to be careful. It's also very soft. The first one I had, it shattered. So we're going to lightly dust it along the top of the cheekbones. Down the bridge of the nose, a little bit on the forehead, and across the Cupid's bow. Alright, so that is how I do my contour and highlight. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks.